Silence is not a sign of defeat. It isn't retreat, evasion, or cowardice. When embraced and used deliberately, silence becomes one of humanity's most potent tools. Most exist in a constant state of clamor, reacting, justifying, debating, pushing. But those who cultivate wisdom choose quiet. They recognize that engaging with someone determined to misunderstand you is a battle already lost. Strength isn't measured in words spoken, but in restraint exercised. The person who stays steady when provoked, unshaken when insulted, undisturbed when misjudged. Their mastery lies in self-control, something few ever achieve. You don't owe reactions to every slight. You don't need to justify your worth. Not everyone deserves access to your thoughts. Let others talk, let them speculate, let them mistake your silence for submission. Most are prisoners of impulse. A careless word, a veiled jab, a fleeting remark, and they unravel. They scramble for approval like desperate animals. In doing so, they expose a deeper truth. They are ruled by external validation. But silence is sovereignty. It murmurs, I see you, but you hold no sway over me. In an era desperate for attention, silence unsettles the cure. It strips away distractions, forcing others to confront their own echoes. It makes space for truth to resonate, and in that space, the fragile grow louder while the steadfast grow quieter. Many miss this because they're conditioned to explain, defend, and fill every void with noise. But words, like wealth, lose value when squandered. When disrespected, silence declares, you aren't worth my energy. When manipulated, it answers, I see your game and I refuse to play. When abandoned or betrayed, it states, I don't chase, plead, or bargain. This isn't indifference. It's discipline. It's the art of walking away because your peace isn't negotiable. Each time you react emotionally to provocation, you hand control to another. Each time you over-explain, you dilute your own truth. Each time you compromise your boundaries for harmony, you betray yourself. No connection justifies that sacrifice. Silence isn't aloofness, it's lucidity. It draws the line. I won't fight to protect my calm, I'll simply leave. Most speak to be acknowledged. The wise speak only to uphold integrity or strengthen resolve. The rest is static. If someone demeans you, let their words expose them. Don't correct, don't justify. Let silence amplify their character louder than any rebuttal. If they crave a reaction, give them absence. If they seek control, offer emptiness. If they hunger for chaos, serve them detachment. Why? Because those who can't provoke you can't possess you. True freedom lies in self-mastery, not in reaction. Restraint isn't passivity, it's poise. To swallow your words when every instinct demands a defense, that isn't frailty, that's supremacy. The strongest presence in any room isn't the loudest, it's the one who feels deeply but reveals nothing. The one who stands firm when tested, who stays silent when doubted, who refuses pursuit when abandoned. They remain rooted, undisturbed, because they grasp a truth others overlooked. Not every conflict deserves engagement. Not every slight requires a reply. Not every chaos merits attendance. Silence becomes the sieve that preserves your serenity. Over time, it reshapes you. You attract those who honor boundaries. You stop explaining yourself to irrelevant voices. You cease draining energy on futile exchanges. Instead, you build something far more valuable than approval, sovereignty over your own spirit. The next time someone tests you, pause. Feel the heat. Acknowledge the urge to retaliate, then exhale and choose elevation. In a world intoxicated by noise, the most powerful statement is often no statement at all. Victory comes not in proving your strength, but in embodying it so fully that the world takes notice without a word. This is how true mastery unfolds. Not through shouting, not through persuasion, but through unwavering stillness. When you learn to say nothing, you communicate everything. Ultimately, you don't triumph by arguing or explaining. You triumph by becoming unshakable. When your peace is non-negotiable, when your mind no longer twitches at provocation, when your quiet carries more gravity than the clamor ever could. The world is deafening. Most speak just to be heard. The wise speak only when it matters. And sometimes, the most profound message is the one left unsaid. You don't need to broadcast your evolution. You don't need to validate your power. Those who matter will sense it in your composure, your restraint, your refusal to fracture. So stand firm, speak sparingly, observe intently, act with purpose. In this frenzied, distracted existence, the rarest, the individual is the one who commands the room without uttering a syllable. They simply are, grounded, unflinching, impossible to unsettle. That is the essence of true strength, and that is who you choose to become. The deeper you embrace silence, the more you realize how much of life's noise is meaningless. Conversations that once felt urgent now feel trivial. Arguments that once demanded your energy now feel like distractions. You begin to see how many words are wasted on posturing, on ego, on filling empty spaces simply because people fear stillness. But you no longer fear it. You cultivate it. There's an unshakable confidence in knowing you don't have to respond, in understanding that your worth isn't determined by how loudly you defend it. When you stop explaining, something shifts. People either rise to meet your silence with respect, or they reveal themselves as unworthy of your energy. Either way, you win. This isn't about suppressing emotion. It's about channeling it with precision. The untrained lash out. The disciplined observe, process, and act, or choose not to act at all. That's the difference between reaction and response, between being controlled by circumstance and mastering it. Think of silence as a fortress. The more you strengthen it, the fewer distractions breach its walls. The less you engage with what doesn't serve you, the more space you create for what truly matters. Clarity, purpose, and unshakable inner peace. So let the world rush to fill the void with noise. Let others scramble for the last word. You'll be the one who walks away with something far more valuable, your power, intact and unspent. Because in the end, the greatest victories aren't won in debates or disputes. They're won in the quiet moments when you choose not to engage, not to react, not to surrender your peace. That's the true measure of strength, not in how much you say, but in how much you don't have to. And so the choice remains yours. Every moment, every interaction. Will you be swept into the current of needless noise, or will you stand firm in the power of your silence? The world will always try to pull you into its chaos. But remember, true strength isn't found in the storm, it's found in the eye of it, calm, centered, unmoved. This is your mastery, this is your freedom. Carry it with you, and no one will ever again mistake your quiet for anything but what it truly is. Unshakable power.